been on a pod or nothing.
All right. Oh, welcome back to another mediocre whitetail podcast. My name is Gage Kopic, your host, and today I'm with.
Chase Kmosena.
Drew Nevienski.
Thanks for coming, fellas. It's my brother is doing a WWE WrestleMania party today, so it's a big day, you know. Gotta love it. Hey, it's a little CM Punk and Roman Reigns, I think he's fighting.
I don't know, but I know you have a good WWE story when it comes to your brother.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It made you less of a man. I'm just gonna say that.
All right, so gonna get this right off the rip. Thank you to our sponsors, Nested Tree Stand Systems. Wearing their sweatshirt, pretty comfortable, if I got to do say so myself. Nested Tree Stand Systems is a packable, pack in, pack out, super streamlined and simple hunting system. You can get up your tree, pack it in, hunt. It's a hybrid setup. Pretty great, super light, real easy. I'll be running those like a madman this year. And then our other partner, I got their box here today. Yellowstone Trail Cams. Pretty sweet. I was showing these guys some pictures of some of the trail cam pictures I got this week. I've got a couple out scouting for turkeys, and they are slick.
Yeah, they look like a real camera. When you showed it to me, I thought you had a nice Sony and you were taking real pictures. I did not look like a trail camera at all.
They're pretty slick. Real nice. Lifetime warranty. Only camera on the market. Lifetime warranty. Only camera on the market that has a true lifetime warranty. And my favorite thing, when you pick that phone up because your camera breaks, you get somebody that speaks English talking to you.
Oh, geez.
Real helpful.
Yeah.
So thank you to our partners. Super happy to be working with you guys.
Play the hand sound.
Yeah, we will. We will right here. Thank you to the partners. Thank you. All right. So on today's agenda, I'm just going to kind of round table this. You guys can answer it as we go. But like we've done in the past with introducing the guys to our podcast, I think the people just get a better kind of judgment of who you are and can relate more to you if we get a little background. So my first question to you guys is, what got you started hunting? How'd you guys kind of pick it up? Was it something that you did by yourself, or was it something where you looked up to somebody and got into it? We'll go round table. So we'll start with you, Chase, and then we'll go to you, Andrew.
For me, it was a family thing growing up. My dad was a big hunter. We did a lot of turkey hunting, a lot of deer hunting, and I just always wanted to be in the woods. We had a cabin. We still have it. It's up in Ladysmith of Rusk County, about 2 hours west of here. So
Spotburn.
That's some good area.
Yeah, it is. So we don't have turkeys up there, but we grew up hunting there, and I always wanted to go with my dad. So I would say that's the biggest influences getting into hunting, and always wanted to just go with him, even if it was early morning. So that was the biggest thing for me. I remember my first BB gun. I shot a squirrel. I still have the pelt today.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How about you?
I guess like everybody.
You wanna just tilt your chair a little bit so that the camera can see your face?
Yeah.
Don't unplug it though.
You're good.
The people want to see your face. Yeah.
It's nothing.
I don't know about
that.
that.
Don't break my camera looking at it, brother.
I mean,
or the seat you're on there.
Easy there.
My bad.
I still hold my own against you. Anyway, so I mean, like most people, like our dad's got us.
Get a little closer.
Our dad's got us into it, and
You can pull it.
I grew up like gun hunting with my dad, so he bow hunted, but he didn't do it as much as he used to, like when he was my age. But so like gun hunting started it, and then parents would just hand me like a 22 or BB gun, just go killing chipmunks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I got my first like compound bow when I'd say I was in like 8th grade, the old diamond. I feel like a lot of guys had those.
We all had that.
And I was all right with it. It just had like a basic 3-pin sight on there, and I didn't shoot a deer with that actual bow. I think I hit a fork with it, and then I lost blood. It was I was in 8th grade. It was like the windiest day that year.
Yeah,
sitting in a climber like 30 feet up in a tree, and absolutely just made a terrible shot. But like fast forward to my sophomore year of high school, I was working a really good paying job, and bought my first bow, brand new bow. Like it was a Hoyt Venom Pro 30 from Chase Outdoors, repping the shirt right now. I don't know if
Oh,
y'all can see it or not.
throwing out free shout outs here.
Also, not
Oh.
my brand. My name's Chase, but no affiliate there.
But I mean, I started spending a lot of time there and
Yep.
I mean, I guess I work there now. I don't know.
Yep.
I guess we didn't dive into that yet, but I work there now. And but that's what really got the ball rolling with me getting like really serious about hunting, was buying that first brand new bow
Yes, sir.
and just really just spending a lot of time in the woods and trying to learn everything you can about whitetails
Yep.
and stuff like that.
Yep. So, I mean, you step back and you look at it. Majority of the guys around here, we all kind of start out the same. I mean, your dad hunts, your grandpa hunts. We all kind of follow in their footsteps. We get out, be part of that Orange Army, the 650,000 strong, sixth largest army in the world.
Literally.
We get out there and it just ain't enough for us at that point. And that's where the love for the bow hunting comes in. And we're like, hey, I want to do this more. I want to.
Less people, way better.
Yeah.
It's just like fishing.
It's like more intimate almost.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing with bow hunting is like a lot of people, you ask them if they hunt and they're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, well, you bow hunt? They're like, nah. I'm like, dude,
you got
it. You got it. Like, that's hunting right there. Like, anyone can sit in there, in a big old box.
Or drives and that. Yeah.
But when you get out there and you know how hard it is to actually get it within 35, 40 yards of a mature buck and make a shot, like, when you have to hunt mature bucks, it's coldest.
Yeah.
Everything has to be right. The wind, you can't not think of all of the
everything has to be in line.
Yep.
So I guess moving forward, my next question is, give me your best hunting story. You don't have to have killed something. It doesn't have to be like, hey, this is my biggest deer. It could be a spike for all that matters, or a turkey, anything. Just that your favorite moment in the woods. I think a lot of the people can relate to that.
Yeah, it's hard for me to think of one favorite memory. I guess I could talk about my biggest buck. We were just talking about it here before the pod, but this would have been our senior year. We went to high school together at Kmosena, all of us. You and I were in the seniors, and that was during COVID. So I got contact traced. So I was out of school.
Here.
Yeah. I was out of school. I had COVID, or I didn't have it, but they thought I might. So I was out of school, and I wasn't mad about it. I mean, I was literally hunted like 11 mornings in a row. I tried public. I went out to like past Jay, like the Ringel Forest, and did some public kind of south of here. But I hunted. The season opened at Rib Mountain, which it only opens for a couple weeks for bow. So I hunted. I know a guy who he has land that you can hunt, but then I would just basically use his land to get into public.
Yep.
And I sat in the same tree basically every morning, and I was getting deer in there. There's a lot of deer. They're pretty civil comparatively, but that time of year there was bucks roaming all over the neighborhood. He'd send me videos on his phone. So one morning I hunted till like 8 and I left, and I usually stayed a little longer, and 2 hours later the buck I was hunting was there, obviously. And we were sighting in our rifles because rifle season was like next week. And I remember seeing that and I was like, dude, you gotta be kidding me. Like, you know how that feels.
Yeah.
And so I figured I should go out there as fast as I could. And I ran out there and climbed up the tree. And I was pretty upset. But then I seen a different pretty big buck, not the one I was hunting, but another one comes in, and I was like, not quite ready. My bow was on the hanger. So I kind of had to, do one of the 360s in the stand, the sketchy.
Was this were saddles big by then, or is this a hang on?
Yeah, it was a pretty nice climber. It wasn't my climber. I have a climber, but it was the landowner that I was hunting on, and forget the brand, but it was a pretty nice climber. And the tree we were in was a straight up.
We'll have to get you to use the code NEDI10.
Yeah,
get yourself a nested one to get out there.
I do have another hang on, but it's not nested. So
you're gonna want. I'm
have to try it out.
Try to nest it out.
But anyway, so we were waiting, and I do the 360, and then basically the landowner was watching he just got home. He was watching from his porch. He said he saw me, and just put a good shot on it, and that was pretty much it. But that was cool. The biggest buck of my life. I had hunted a lot, passed some bucks, so it was rewarding to be able to shoot
Do you know
a
what he
big one.
scored?
I didn't score it, but I got pictures if you want them for later. You can put them.
We'll put your guys side by side for the cover photo.
Yeah, that's my biggest buck. I got lots of other stories that are pretty crazy. I could tell a story that wasn't even hunting related, but we were scouting land. I'll tell this one later. Maybe it was with Drayton and Kyle.
Yep.
We got stuck. So you're up next, but maybe later.
I mean, I would say mine's probably split in between. There's really like two of them. It's kind of hard to differentiate, which one's
What's
probably
one,
better.
what's two, yeah.
I mean, I would say probably the first one is probably my first ever buck. So first buck I shot, I was a senior in high school. I always told myself, I see some people that, Gage and I know, he probably knows who I'm thinking about, that always give us crap about not killing spikes and forks and stuff like that. And, I was like, I just really don't want to, and my dad definitely had some influence on that, because he's like, there's a lot bigger bucks running around.
Yep.
So why would you kill something small like that? And plus, I really didn't want to drag out something I wasn't proud of. So,
Well, now hold on there, because this is the mediocre whitetail.
no, I'm not.
Dudes are gonna be proud of that spike.
I'm not dishing people.
Look at that shed. Look at that shed that I found. I'm insanely proud of finding that
you when
shed
you found
there.
it. Yep. I mean, I'm not ripping on anybody for doing that.
This is like your average buck right here that you shot.
Whoa, that's a zinger right there.
I'm trying to get you back on the mat, dude. I'm trying to fire you up.
You don't want that. I was gonna say
last wrestling match here on mediocre whitetail.
We'll move this nice table.
But
shut up.
We'll bring the WWE down here.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is mediocre whitetail. I'm not ripping on anybody.
Yep.
I mean, shoot, obviously, what makes you happy.
I know what you mean is, hey, there's bigger bucks out there. I kind of want to hold out, chase those guys.
Yeah, I mean, especially like when I was hunting with my my diamond, like in those early years, and even when I got into like bow hunting with my first new bow, is like I seen a lot of big bucks, and it was always some beginner mistake that you made.
Yep.
You're not thinking about
hey,
it.
I moved too fast.
Yeah.
Hey, my wind isn't
fast,
right.
Started learning about wind direction.
Had you shot in a deer before this, like a doe or something?
Oh, I've shot in a lot of does.
So you had already known what it was like to kill a deer. You didn't need to kill a spike just to
it's like
you had your first buck.
It's like I killed plenty of deer. There was always meat in the freezer, but it's like I didn't want to kill something that's like had the potential to be something bigger. And I'm not like I said, I'm not ripping on anybody for doing that.
Yep.
But so I waited. It was my senior year of high school, and that would have been 2024. So 2023 gun season. It was opening day, and it was really warm. I remember that there's like no snow on the ground, which is
unheard of.
Yeah, for the last couple of
Of
years
gun?
in Wisconsin, that's been kind of common, which kind of sucks. But there's no snow on the ground. It was a lot warmer than what I ever remember gun season being like. And climbed down into we have like one stand that's kind of like a designated gun stand, but in my opinion, it's kind of like the best stand on our property. We got like 40 acres in Marathon County, and sat down in there, and I had bow hunted there, and I had a run in with a buck that he was big.
Yeah,
he was like, I seen that buck, and I was shaking.
Like a 140,
bigger. He was easily 150, maybe north.
And
wide, tall, just like it was a complete.
And how old were you?
I would have been 18.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're younger too. You're like,
I was, it was a clean typical too. And for me, I've always like, you see a buck that just looks so clean. You're like, damn, like
nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it was like a clean 10, and he was just super wide. And, I was sitting in there, bow hunting that year, and I'd seen him, and I had him at 30 yards. And right by this little like dead oak tree, it's still there standing to this day. It's just a tiny little dead oak or birch tree. And I couldn't get him to stop. And that sucked. But fast forward into gun season, which was a couple weeks later, I'm sitting there and hear a couple shots, and I'm like, all right, let's see if something comes out here. 2 does come booking it out of my neighbor's property, just booking it out by the pond in front of me. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, wonder if there's something behind it. Look behind it. I see horns. I'm like, oh geez. So I stand up, I'm looking around trying to see how big it is and see if it's something worth shooting. And I was like, well, I can clearly see a rack, so I'm probably going to shoot it, you know? And he took the does kept walking towards the pond, which would have been like to the north, and the buck took a complete opposite path, would have been, I think, whatever that would have been to the east, down towards me, like basically running the property line. And he was jogging. And I was like, I'm not even going to try and stop him. I mean, I felt relatively confident, like, 60 yards to running deer.
With a gun, yeah.
Yeah. It was 180 grain, 30-06. I was like,
yeah, you're all
if
right.
I hit him, I think I'm all right. And I seen him and I cracked him one good one, hit him right in the heart. And then I got a second shot into him, broke his leg, hit a tree, and then just expired.
Yeah.
And that was like, walked up to it. I called my buddy Taryn and I was like,
TD Walls.
Yeah, TD Walls.
Dude, they're bringing their new puppy here today.
Oh, they got a new puppy, really?
Yeah, Amy went and got one yesterday.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You still see him?
Who?
Taryn?
Yeah, they're gonna be here today.
Yeah,
Nice.
I see him all the time,
WrestleMania.
honestly.
Dude,
Well,
I didn't know it was as big a deal.
WrestleMania is huge, brother.
Yeah, I mean,
like I said,
called
we're gonna bring
Taryn.
it down here. We're gonna
Yep.
wreck this table. I'm gonna keep smack talking you.
Yeah, so I called Taryn and I was like, dude, I just shot my first buck. I was like, dude, I'm like shaking. I called Taryn first. I didn't think to call
Why
my
Taryn,
dad.
dude?
I don't know.
Wait, this was your first buck?
First buck ever. I was a senior in high school until I killed my first buck. I mean, it's like when you're hunting the rut, you're hunting late October with your bow. It's like you're seeing like these big deer and you're just making little mistakes that are just hindering you from getting a shot at them.
Well, yeah, and if you're passing spikes, I mean,
Yeah, it's like I didn't, like I said, I didn't need meat that bad. And if I ever wanted meat, there's a plethora of does by my house. So if I really wanted meat, I'm just going to go pop a doe.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's just how I am. But so I shot that buck, called Taryn, and I was like, this freaking throttled run, dude. He died in like 10 yards. And he sent me a picture like 30 seconds later. Yeah, me too. It was like, yeah.
no way.
Yep. He shot they hunt up in Prentice and he shot like a basket rack 8, which for up there is like big news.
Yeah,
And right there.
Yeah. He shot
pretty much. I know how that
shot
is.
a basket rack 8, which for them was big news. Yeah. And yeah, it was super cool. I drug it home, walked home. My little brother was like, Andrew, can I come out? I was like, yeah, I don't care, come out, gutted it out. And then, I threw it out. It was like a 2.5-year-old. It was a big 2.5-year-old.
Was it a different buck than the one you saw during bow?
Oh, completely different buck. I
Yep.
mean, this 6-point, but for a 6-point, I mean, he was pretty big.
Like a 115.6.
I don't know if he was quite that big. I could show you a picture here real quick. I don't know.
But for your first buck, I mean,
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
for first buck,
doesn't matter.
For first
First
buck,
buck.
he was bigger than a lot of people's first bucks.
That one was my first one.
yeah, that's a pretty nice first buck.
I was chasing that for years.
This buck or your first buck?
No, like I was trying to chase that size.
How old
for
were you?
Years.
Like, were you in 8th grade
I
or?
was like 12.
I mean, I don't know.
Because I remember you showing me lots of deer when you were in middle
That's a pretty
school.
decent
but-
6-point.
Heck yeah, that's something to be proud of. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I seen that and I was like, heck yeah, dude.
I wonder if my first buck's still on Instagram.
For a 6, that's a stud.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was heavy. And so that would be like that was my first buck. And then this past year, so I'm 20 years old, so this past year I was hunting in, let's think, it would have been the first week of October.
Yep.
And I was bow hunting because I just switched jobs and
Last year or this year?
this last year, like so 2025 it would have been.
Yeah, there was a nice cold front that came through that
Yep,
first week
there was a nice cold front, and
Yep.
that's why I was hunting. And so this one's like not a downer, but definitely makes a dude feel like hopeful,
Yep.
So I've never shot a buck with my bow or killed a buck with my bow to this day. I don't want to
Wow.
preface shot a buck with my bow. I want to preface killed a buck with my bow. All right. And I've spent a lot of time and I'm hoping that, this year,
Yep.
Spring walleye fishing has been kind of hard on me. And I'm feeling that the good Lord's holding out some luck for maybe, Montana in May and then, bow hunting.
Yep.
But so I went out. It was like, I don't know, I think it was the first or second week in October. And there was a little bit of a cold front that pushed through. And I was like, screw it. I went out. And so that day, that very morning, I went to the gym with a guy that I work with at Chase Outdoors, Matt. And dude, we hit a hard lift. We had a solid pump in. And it was arms, forearms, chest. Like I was like, but
Are we allowed to walk off the pod?
Oh,
Have you had one yet? We
Dude,
gotta
they
do
were
that.
they were shooting crossbows after.
oh, 100%. But no, so we get done with that. And I mean, my forearms are just,
Can you even
Oh.
pull a bow back anymore with your shoulder?
Yeah, I can. I pull
don't
back
know.
70 pounds.
It's because it's your left shoulder.
No, it's both.
That's fair, but you're less worse.
Yeah, that's
Sorry to interrupt you, but
they both need surgery.
That's like what is that? 16 years of wrestling induced plus
18.
plus 8 surgeries.
18 years.
How many surgeries?
I need 2 more. 3 shoulders, 1 Tommy John.
Yeah, man, it's a miracle you can even pull the bull back today.
I don't, dude. The
So
day
for those of you that
can't.
are, younger and still elect to use a crossbow, there's really no excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
This
Yeah.
guy's got 3 shoulders. I mean, he's definitely out there grinding it because he loves the vertical bow.
I 100% understand the guys who have. So, like, one of the guys that we hunt with down in Richland Center.
Yep.
TS, great dude. Messed up shoulders, like just
Worse
as bad.
than yours, or just as bad?
Just as bad.
Is he
as
older?
Mine. Yep, he's older. Wrestled just as bad as mine. Has to use a crossbow.
Yeah.
Because he literally just cannot.
Well, at least you can still hunt bow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. When it comes to people like that,
And older folks too.
you go and you get your medical note and you're like, hey, dude, I physically cannot. I get that. But when it comes to like people were asking if I want to start Anna out with a crossbow, I'm like, fuck no. She's pulling back a damn compound bow.
What do you have to get? 35 legally?
30 pounds.
30 pounds. Yeah.
30 pounds.
It's like 31 pounds, I think.
Yeah.
Is
So
if you-
she couldn't pull one back last year, so I was like, okay, get in the gym, get stronger. Like, you're not using a crossbow. I don't care. I will not. I in my moral self.
That's just being a
cannot-
good boyfriend, in my opinion. You just can't.
I-
You just can't set your old
throw
lady
them
up
out
for
there
that.
with a crossbow. Like, dude, no. It's gonna make it too easy for you, and you're gonna be expecting of, hey, I can shoot 100 yards with a crossbow. No,
I mean,
No.
target, sure, but you're not killing a deer at 100.
I was going to say
crossbow.
100's pushing it, but I know what you mean.
I'm
with
not
the
saying-
crossbows nowadays.
I'm not saying it's not
Out
possible,
in the
but I'm
woods,
saying if you have any
in the
sort
wild?
of conscience, you're not going to do that.
You could. I had a nice buck at 60, and I was thinking about it with my compound this year.
So that was
That's me with my 20 gauge.
that was with that buck.
Wait.
That was with that big buck that I had that when I killed my first buck. That I couldn't get him to stop at 30. It was like 31 yards. I couldn't get him to stop at 31, and he stopped at 60. And I was confident at 60. And I thought about it, but given where I was sitting in the same stand that I killed that
With your bow?
Yep, with
Yeah.
my first buck, but it's like a swamp hardwoods border, and I was sitting in the swamp, and it's like I can visibly see at least one branch that could be a problem, and it's like there's so many bad things that can happen in that amount of time. Like, I mean, if you're like elk hunting or something like that, where you're out west and it's a lot more open, then you have to be comfortable with those shots. But on a mature whitetail buck that's pushing 150 inches or something like that,
you don't want to
ballpark,
do that.
like, I'm not saying that other creatures aren't tough, but a whitetail, if you hit him bad, he'll run for miles and miles and miles.
Yep.
Plus, you want to be able to have another chance at it again. If you wound it,
Yeah,
it might never show up again.
I mean, the neighbor
might
ended
kill
up
it,
getting
yeah.
him, but at the end of the day, though, it's
Right.
like,
You never know.
You didn't
it's
just
like
go
I had
die in some hole.
Yeah, I
Right.
didn't just shoot him in the frickin' rear end or something like that.
Sarah
He just-
Bomar.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I finally got it out. So
Yep.
it's a running joke.
Oh, jeez.
Damn near running joke on this pod. All respect. I think they're great hunters. They're unbelievable
There's no doubt
archers.
that they
Who we
kill
talking
big
about?
bucks.
The Bomars. Awesome hunters. Great hunters. But Sarah Bomar's shot where she put it right in the Texas hard shot up the butt with a bow.
As far as ethical
So,
shots
wait,
go,
wait.
it's
That's
not
why
a-
I refuse
Hang
to
on.
ever use a beast broadhead. It's because of that video.
Hang on.
I can understand
What
that.
What was on the arrow then? Was it blood or was it poop?
Oh, she probably a mix, dude. So I saw clips, and in one of the clips it went slow mo, and you can see the lighted knock right in the stink star,
Oh, jeez.
right in the stink star, dude.
That's kind of a good shot though. Like,
no,
it's a
no.
bad shot, but like the accuracy. Like,
wait, okay, but think about
I know what you mean. As far as
like
ethics,
let's
that's
say
a bad shot.
I go and I take that shot, it's not happening. It's hitting a bone. You
Yeah.
let anybody else
You have
go
to
up
hit perfect for that.
like centimeters, millimeters, if not even
Yeah,
centimeters,
right.
millimeters correct in order for that to be a kill shot. But they're sitting there and they're like, oh yeah, it was the beast broadhead. Like,
But I mean,
no.
the beast
no.
broadhead isn't what did that. I think that
is the fact that she's an unbelievable, fantastic archer.
She's a very good archer. The Bomar family, they're crazy good archers.
Well, and that's I don't want it to make it seem like I'm coming off as, hey,
you guys suck.
Screw the Bomars. No, I am a
but just
great.
That particular shot.
You get there. I think
not a big fan of
great.
the shot.
I cannot stand that shot. It irks me to no end.
Well,
and our listeners know, because I mean, this is the
I've definitely heard it a couple
seventh
times,
time that I've brought it up now. It's got to be once
that
every
goes back
episode.
to that goes back to like the big buck that I seen that one year. It's like I know I would have hit him. I know I would have hit him. As far
but
as
you didn't do it.
As far as to where I would have hit him and what would have happened.
Yeah,
there's so many variables,
right?
And I think that kind of sends, because I mean, you think about like how many high school kids and up and coming bow hunters look up to the Bomars.
Yep.
You know, like they're a huge name. I mean,
big brand.
They put out good products. They put out good videos. You know, so I think that kind of sends a bad message.
It's like, hey, that high school kid, you can shoot him in the asshole and it's going to work because you're using our broadhead.
No, but so like if I would have watched that in 8th grade with my 3-pin on my freaking Diamond Infinite Edge,
I'm going to shoot this dude in the butthole.
Yeah, no, it's like I'm not hitting that in all realism. Like now maybe I could hit that perfect, but like I'm still not going to do that. Like that irks me.
I think that's just how
I'm not even going to attempt it.
I mean, my dad tells me like the biggest buck he's ever seen, he didn't even get a shot at because it was just outside of his range, and it's like he knew he wasn't comfortable there. He wasn't going to try to take a shot at the biggest buck he's ever seen, and obviously, you know, maybe he wishes he did now, but he's at least happy he didn't wound it, or you never know.
I mean, sometimes you just got to sit back and you got to be like, dude, these things they're like mythical creatures that we're chasing, damn near.
It's very hard. It's hard because it's really hard to get one close. So when you do, you're like, you have that part of you.
And like the magnitude of the animals that the Bomars are chasing, dude. Like those are animals that are north of 5 years old. They are mature whitetails. They are strong.
They've been around for a long time.
And so for them to get as many opportunities at those bucks as they do, you know, good land managing on them.
Yeah.
Like they know what they're doing. They have
a little
it
easier when that's your full-time job too.
Hey, I'm gonna rip a BEERUN beer run. Does anybody need one? Nobody needs.
I just wanted to do that real quick. Boss. You got any soda? Soda pop?
Soda pop. Oh jeez.
He only has a beer cooler down here.
Oh, soda.
Lots of Miller Lights, though.
You guys want whiskey?
What kind of whiskey you got?
Maybe next time.
Oh, you can't touch the kill bottle until
we need some snacks on this pod. I see those nerd gummy clusters over here.
Yeah, get away from those.
You're gonna hear me just.
That's my old ladies.
You don't want to mess with the old ladies' snacks.
No,
Gage will pay for that.
I mean,
dude,
I'd get smacked.
I mean, it wouldn't be me though; it'd be you. So I don't see.
Hey, get out of here!
I don't see a problem. You might get mail on
that.
that though. You might get mail on that when you come back next time. She's like, "Oh yeah,
there won't be a next time."
That's the guy that steals my nerd.
I'll bring
gummies.
some extra gummy clusters.
Oh yeah.
All right, dude. So I got one topic in the brain that I really want to talk about now that we've got. Well, we'll start with this. Andrew, tell me, what do you do at Chase? Kind of like, what's your forte there? What do you when you're working? Kind of like, what are you specializing in?
I mean, when I first started working there, like I had a lot of stuff I wanted to know about archery. Archery was like the biggest thing. I couldn't get enough information about archery.
Oop.
And with that, so like I started there. I would have been. It was like right before I graduated high school. I mean, it was probably like March, April, and been working there for going on like 2 years now. And like, so I know a little bit about just about everything there, but like my forte there is primarily archery. I work a lot behind the archery counter. I'm pretty much like their full-time arrow fletcher, you know, because I don't work there full time. It's just because I'm trying to, you know, pursue a different career. But I work there, you know, in the fall time when guys are bringing in arrows to get fletched for whitetail season and stuff like that. I can be in there a lot, catching up on that sort of stuff. But like I said, I know a decent amount about fishing, a decent amount about guns.
Would you say that archery
is definitely, like that's where I spend the brunt of my time spent at Chase Outdoors when I'm working is spent behind the archery counter.
I was gonna say, because whenever I have an archery question, so like I'm getting some new strings put on my bow.
Yep.
I'm like texting you right away. I'm like, what do I get? What's top line?
Yeah.
I've got the money. I'm gonna spend it.
Yeah.
What do I get that's gonna give me the best bang for my buck? Spot on the money. You're like, you can either do this or this, this or this. What do you want? Do you want colors? Do you want?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different stuff that goes into that. I mean, there's a lot of guys that their biggest thing is having specific colors on their strings. So it's like, all right, you can go with, whatever, like the gas high octane customs, or like, a guy like me, or like a guy like you, or like guys that are looking to get the most performance out of their bow and the most longevity out of there. It's like the gas Ghost XVs, I think is what it is. And then there might be one above that. I can't exactly remember. But I run whatever gas bowstrings, whatever their highest grade of bowstrings are.
Yeah.
And I've ran those, I think, since I got my first brand new bow.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of people, that run into me or that are friends with me or that know who I am, that anytime they have a question about bows or something like that, I'm getting a text message, I'm getting a phone call. You never know when that phone call might come. I've gotten some real oddball questions at, like freaking 1 o'clock in the morning. Like I had a couple buddies that have
well, when Taryn came to draw Peanut's bow back, he came to buy the bow, right?
Yep.
I watch him draw it back, and I'm like, something's bad happening, because Rafe has his poundage at like 80.
Well, yeah, Rafe's freaking beefcake. Like when
Bro wrestles 197,
he's mad.
He's bigger than that now.
He probably walks around at like 230, but he wrestles 197. But
he's jacked.
Taryn goes and he tries to sky draw this.
Oh my!
And he starts pulling the bow sideways as he's going like this. Derails the string. I'm like, oh, and you just dropped $1,200. You fucked his bow. What are you doing?
And then I got him. Yep. And then shortly thereafter, I got a text message from Taryn, a text message from Gage. Hey, like this, like we need to like figure something out. They brought it in, looked it over. Like there's nothing wrong with the limbs, which that's always the biggest concern. If you derail your bows, your limbs, the riser's pretty tough, but especially on like a carbon bow, especially the Hoyt carbon bows, there's a lot of pressure. And at 80 pounds, there's a lot of pressure on those limbs. And if you derail that, that's usually like the biggest thing that we're looking for is damage to the limbs, cracking of the limbs. You might see like them delaminate. So like the coloring on them, like that's like laminated on there. So that if that part comes off, then at that point, just replace. You have to replace them. I think all we had to do on that one was put the string back on.
Yeah.
Which he lucked out big time because that can be an expensive mistake.
Well, and Rafe would have just looked at him and been like, have fun. You bought the bow today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would have been a $1,200 drawback. For nothing.
Especially for just the bow. I mean, those Hoyt carbon bows, because I think that's what he was running. Wasn't it like an RX? I think it was 7 or 8?
No, it wasn't that. It was like it might have been an RX-6.
I thought it was a 7 or an 8. It was newer.
I don't know.
I did that to my first ever bow, actually. I got it on Christmas. It wasn't like my second bow was like the diamond, that everyone had. Good old Gander Mountain bow, like $400. But my first one was like, could barely pull back, like legal shooting. But I remember I was like, I really wanted to pull it back. It was still in the package, and I like pulled it back like a couple inches, just let it go. And my dad was like,
well, I can imagine Steve Kmosena.
He fixed it. It was all good.
So, I talked about this story when my dad was on the pod. I went to Shields. Boo! I'm gonna pull it. I know. I wasn't supporting my local bow shop, but I was in college. Shields was close. My buddy was buying a gun and bought the bow, whatever. The day that I brought it back to my house, we had this buddy, Juan John Cena, is what we called him, right?
Juan John Cena.
Juan John Cena.
I don't know if I ever met
Juan Cena. Tough dude. I love that guy. Great guy. And my roommate that bought the gun, he's like, Cena, pull that thing back. Like, no, he's not touching it. It's like, just let him try it. We're all thinking, no way he can pull this back. And I'm like, all right. Cena, if you let go, you owe me $3,000.
Yeah.
Pulls it back, and I have never had more anxiety in my life than this
I
kid pulling
cringe
that
whenever
bow.
someone pulls my bow back.
Just probably had his whole hand around it.
Just sitting there like that. Oh yeah, this feels great. Like, oh!
I can imagine Gage just sitting there looking over everything like, you better not
Like,
broke this damn
holy
thing.
shit.
Was
Then,
that your lift?
yep. And then a week later, they dropped the lift eggs. Like, and I messed up. That's tough.
I
Okay,
remember when you got that freaking lift. You brought it into Chase when you got it from Gilray.
that was the second one.
Oh, yeah, because your dad snagged that first
Yeah,
one. I remember that.
my dad took that first one from me.
This is mine.
And then I'm sitting there, and I'm back to the Matthews Z7, which, don't get me wrong, love that bow. The wood grip on it. Oh my God.
I do wish that they had the option for
The
this.
wood
You can
grip
still
is
get the wood
so-
grain grip, but you can't get that grip that
wood.
yeah,
dude,
because it fits in the hand so
it's
well.
perfect. It's perfect. That Z7, I think, might be one of my all-time favorite bows. The only problem is when you're at your peak there and you're hitting that back wall, it wants to go.
Oh yeah.
But that's old bows. But yeah, I came in, and this is where I started supporting my local bow shops. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to Chase. I'm only gonna buy a bow from Chase here. Now that I'm back home, I want to be in the area. I want to support my local area bow shops.
Yep.
Which, listeners, support your local bow shops.
Please do.
Get after them. Go out there. Don't go to them. Yeah, I'll second that.
Yeah.
We'll see if the audio even picks that up. It hasn't been, but yeah, support your local bow shops. Get out, find that small mom and pop shop that are trying to make it with the archery industry, because
There's a lot of good information.
There really is. When you go to them bigger stores, those guys are just trying to make the sale and get you in and out lickety split, right?
You're more a number to them than you are a
Yep.
person. I'm not necessarily saying that Shields doesn't offer a good service.
They're great.
Because there's some people there that know what's going on.
Yeah.
I will
Right.
give them that.
Well,
There's some guys that go out there. They're great hunters. They're great fishermen.
Yeah.
They're great at what they do, and
but they don't remember you.
they don't. Yes.
So I went in and I bought that bow. A couple months later, it's that walleye run out on the Fox. I walk in and I see the guy that sold me my bow, helped me set it up or whatever. And I told him, like, hey, I shot this deer with this bow. And he's like, oh, nice. Like, yeah, Pat, you sold this bow to me.
Yeah.
You like set it up for me. You did everything, all the work with me. She's going to be like a little more excited. Like,
Right.
hey, I helped this dude out.
sure, he's probably hurt.
Zero
emotion.
recollection of me. I had zero, like, whatever. Screw you.
Yeah.
I go out and I go show up to Chase, and they're like, oh, what's up, dude? They instantly remember my face. They know who I am.
Yeah.
I can sit there and I can have an hour-long conversation with somebody, and they're like, yep. I remember this about you, this about you. Awesome. Why wouldn't I support that? So that's when I started showing up, and I was like, hey, I'm going to support my local bow shops. Buy a lift 29.5 from right in the parking lot of Chase.
Yeah, from Ethan Gilray. Yep.
Bought it. I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh man, I'm broke, but I need to get a sight. I need this bow set up today.
Yep.
Walk in there and you're working, and I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, let's get this thing set up. And we did.
Hooked him up
And
with the stabilizer, the drop away. Hooked him up with the HHA nitrix.
oh my
single
gosh,
tang.
it's nice. It's so nice. That brings me my second. Now that you said that, that brings me my other topic I want to cover. What sights are you guys using? Are you using multi-pin or single pin?
I have a 1-pin, but I like it because you just have that one. Like, you don't have any other
Yep.
to worry about. Like, yes, it's more work. You have to range more often to see, like, but I just get in the tree and I range, like, basically all the landmarks.
What are you
of
shooting
rock.
now?
I have Expedition. So where I went to school, Luther College, there's a bow shop there that's attached to this warehouse, Expedition Archery. They're pretty high level. Like, some of their stuff is over $1,000, like brand new. My coach, he sold me it for $500, just
Yeah.
a couple years old. And I was like dialed
Which coach
in.
was that?
O'Gara.
Okay.
Yep. I was dialed into like 40 within like 15 minutes of shooting it
Mm.
because like it's just that nice. Like, I was used to that diamond, which is a little not as consistent, not as fast, needs a new string. And this, I just put my sight on, I have the one pin, and that was all I had to figure out was like where my markings are, and that was it. So it's maybe a little more work, but I just like that you only have one, like once you set it on what it's on, you're good.
Yeah.
I do have a funny story. I shot a doe it was in a creek in Iowa, and I was ranging the water. I'm like, I need to know where this thing is, but obviously it wasn't picking up in my rangefinder.
It's moving.
So I'm like, just guessed and shot it, but still, that was kind of funny. I was like, afterwards, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I wasn't ranging the water at the stream. But yeah, that's what I shoot. I actually had my dad, he gave me this ancient one once, and it was like a pendulum. I don't know if you've ever seen those, but it's like one it's like one pin, but it doesn't come from the side, it's like from the bottom, but it like tips as you like go. So then it like kind of has automatic like range. Which is a little sketch, but I also shot a deer with it. So
That's kind of sick.
Yeah, my first bow kill was with that sight. A doe.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is that river the one right on Luther there? Or?
No, I went
you don't have to spot burn, but
no, I'm never gonna hunt there ever again. I actually have a stand I got to get down from that spot.
We won't spot burn just in case any other people are in the area.
But that was private.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a
you
connection.
got a permission piece?
Yeah, that was connection through Troy Seidel.
Yep.
So he
we got to get up by him. He's in Minnesota, right?
Yeah, by Bemidji.
We should
fishing.
We should get up there for bow.
We could, yeah.
Drayton Lehman, who you went to
yeah, he went to Bemidji.
They hunted up there, and they killed some pretty nice bucks and some big bears up there too.
Minnesota is a sleeper state.
100%.
Well, just north of me, where I went to school in like Stewartville area, like they have really good streams for fly fishing in that.
Definitely,
which we could also get into. I did a lot of fishing there, but they have they're kind of like the rolling hills, like where I was in Decorah, that kind of come from the cross area, like the driftless.
The driftless area.
So like that area for hunting just goes right through from where I was to Minnesota. So that's all good too. But yeah. There's a lot of bear up in Bemidji area. But that piece of public was one of the most beautiful hunts I've ever had. Like I love going there just to watch like the sunset, because
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it was like the smallest piece of land. It was a good 200 acre lot, but it's like 190 acres of field corn, right?
Yep.
So then I drive like
fingers of woods, basically.
Pretty much. I just drive an hour, and then, but the thing is, like the area was so saturated because it was on a creek, on a river. So then all the deer are there because the rest of it's fields. So I would walk the creek sometimes, and then I'd cross it, and I was kind of hunting on like a little peninsula area, and like they had to funnel through me because there's like water on both sides, and like I always saw tons of wildlife, like raccoons. I had an eagle fly right by my head down there.
It's actually cool.
Some big bucks, lots of turkeys in that area, even in the fall. So that was some of the best hunting I ever did. It's just a beautiful area too. You got the river. I was sitting on a tree that was like right on the bank.
Iowa.
So yeah,
that's all you got to say.
Pretty much, yeah.
You pull any big bucks out of there yet?
I didn't shoot any big ones, but I got pretty busy. My freshman year was the most I hunted before I got too busy.
Well, I know you were busy with class and you wrestled.
Wrestling.
Right.
And then in the summertime, you were doing the woodchucks, right?
Yeah, I was here in Wausau. I didn't live in Decorah at all in the summers, but
so it makes scouting hard and stuff like that.
I scouted a lot my freshman year before the season, because bow doesn't start until October 1st there, instead of September or whatever. So I did a lot of scouting in my first like month being there. I remember like the second day I was there, I was in the woods. Like everyone's doing orientation, and I was like out in the woods, like getting
like
ticks and stuff. It's like hot as hell out there too, and humid. And I did so much scouting, and just I was amazed. Like I still have videos of like the first time I saw the area, like just so nice. It just looks how you expect, and it's just beautiful. Like big oaks, lots of oak trees, and I just remember I'm going to shoot 4 big bucks, but obviously it got pretty busy. My freshman year, I'd passed quite a few, decent 8-pointers, but I was after a big buck because I had just come off my biggest buck a year before. So I'm thinking I'm in Iowa.
I'm
in Iowa. I got to get
one.
here.
Right.
Yeah.
So
we're going to touch on college wrestling.
All right, bet.
I gotta ask him about the sights yet, because
that's true. Yeah.
We strayed off a little bit.
My bad. What's the womp womp one? All right, here we go, Andrew. Your turn.
We'll get back to you on that though, because I've got my own thoughts on college wrestling and all that,
we could talk about that
forever. But
my biggest regret that I never did it, but
I wanna know your thoughts on what site, because I know you're a multi-pin.
I'm
right?
a multi-pin slider at this point in time. So
Yep, take a drink.
I need to get some water. You got any down here?
You can
we have the nectar
you
of
can
the
run
gods.
upstairs and whatnot.
Isn't that your job? You're the host. I mean,
I'm talking shit. I can go on a water run. I can go on water. Another thing, if you guys got to use the bathroom, there's one right around the corner there through the weight room. Don't be afraid to just get up.
Yeah.
Need anything?
Nah, I've got beer. All right,
So right now, I mean, living in Wisconsin, you know, I know Gage is big on supporting local bull shops.
Yep.
I'm pretty big on supporting local companies too. So
so are we. Wisconsin.
Yep, Wisconsin. You guys are sponsored by so far strictly Wisconsin based companies.
I'm gonna put it out there. I'm a slut for Wisconsin companies.
Yeah. I mean there's a lot of great ingenuity that comes from the state of Wisconsin as far as deer hunting, archery hunting, gun hunting. You know, you got like the Vortex headquarters in the state of Wisconsin.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Ooh, the dog's here? Bring it downstairs. Bring the puppy downstairs.
Well,
for the listeners,
go ahead.
there's a puppy here, and my girlfriend just told me that through text. All right, keep going.
So back on the bow sights, I mean, personally, I've always ran outside of my first bow, which was the diamond that came with that 3-pin. Outside of that, I've always ran an HHA.
Yep.
You know, shout out to them and, you know, Jake Mansell and the boys. They
Awesome
create
company.
a great product. And, you know, you got guys like all different types of, you know.
They're getting a free shout out here because I love them too.
Dude, I mean, Jake Mansell was in the shop the other day and I
him.
asked him some questions. I mean, he's always super cool. And so I've always ran, when I bought my first bow, I ran a single pin.
Yep. And
there was a couple times that I got burned by, it was kind of on my part for not
ranging and then switching.
Yep, for not having, well, not necessarily that, but for not having landmarks picked out.
Yep.
You know, I was newer to that. So, and when I first started bow hunting, I never had a rangefinder. Ross Nevienski said, "Oh no," he said, "you're gonna learn the old ways.
Just take your steps to that spot, to that one,
basically." And then you got to remember that. And it's like I'm trying to hunt all different types of spots on our 40 acres.
Wait, that one was 40?
Yeah, basically have a freaking Alzheimer's moment.
Yep.
Just thinking like, oh, I can't remember. And but so that the single pin, this year I'll be running a single pin for anything target archery.
Are you ripping that tack up in the UP?
There's a chance that I will, but with me wanting to start an apprenticeship for lineman
school
for lineman stuff, so going to the IBW, there's a really big chance that you got to travel. And when you're an apprentice, you're basically at their beck and call.
Yeah,
you can't really say no.
Yeah.
So I haven't signed up for it yet. If it comes down to a spur of the moment thing, I might be able to pull 1 or 2 shoots, go out with Gage or go out with a couple other buddies.
Not even just Gage, the mediocre crew, because we're planning a couple shoots here.
I mean, the UP's got one. There's a couple other ones that are relatively close. So it's, you know, even if it's a couple hours, you got to drive there and you got to do what you got to do.
Well, there's a 3D target shoot that they do, I think, every other week down in New London.
Yep.
There's a course down there, and
well, I mean, they're in the wintertime. There's a league at Antlers. There's a league at Rib Mountain Bowman by us, and then like in the summertime, like there's a lot of different 3D shoots.
Yep.
I mean, TAC is obviously a big name. A lot of big names go
TAC.
to them.
Yep.
And as far as like preparing for realistic far range hunting shots, that's a great one to go to to prep yourself for that.
Well, and they just had one down in Oklahoma, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that was just this past weekend or something like that.
I thought about it. But we had that storm come through, and I mean, we were going to go out and chase turkeys in Minnesota.
Yeah, that kind of fell
That
through.
got shut down with we had a nader that touched down
in Wrangell,
15 minutes from here.
Yep.
It's like, oh, yeah, probably shouldn't be driving in that.
And that funnel cloud passed right through you and me.
It literally went over the top of my house. I was standing outside.
Let me guess, Miller Lite in hand?
Yes. I was sitting there looking up, caught some hail, and I'm like, where's this cloud? I don't see no spinning.
Yeah, I seen it from a little ways from my house.
It stopped raining for a second there, and I was like,
"Is the calm before the storm?" That's what you got to be careful about.
But then I was still just sitting there.
It's actually been they have it. It's officially an EF3.
Yep, EF3,
which is pretty.
It was gnarly. Well,
yeah.
we've got the weatherman here.
Not quite a weatherman, but
the news guy.
I was out there. Yeah,
you were the camera guy, weren't you?
You know what's funny?
I was reporting out there. Yes.
Chase, zoom out.
You were there.
I
was
that.
on TV. She did the first one, but I was on the next one. You didn't see that. You clearly weren't watching after that because I was on TV.
No, I was standing outside. I was trying to see the cloud. As soon
everyone
as
says, "Please get to your basement and stay away from windows." Meanwhile, Gage is standing out the window
with a beer in hand.
Gage wasn't. I was doing the same thing, except I had a whiskey sour in my hand.
Taking pictures, probably.
I just, my mom and my little brother was in the basement. Little brother was crying because he's like, "I don't want to die today." And I was like, "You're chilling."
My dad, my sister, my dog, my sister's rabbit, and Anna were all in the basement. My mom is meanwhile driving home from work. She was on I-39.
My dad was coming home from work.
I was
he
like,
stopped.
"Oh, that's tough." Mom ends up coming in straight to the basement. Here I am, beer in hand, standing outside, looking up,
enjoying the show.
Where is this thing? There's hail, but there's no tornado.
I mean, the older I get, the more cool weather is. Like you're standing outside, you're like, yeah.
I just saw some video on Instagram. It was like severe weather storm, Midwest dads, and it pans out to some dude opening his garage with a lawn chair, and then he sits down.
Literally, yeah, literally.
Those storms do make me wonder, like, what are those animals doing out there? Like what do you do? Like, because especially with the flooding, because I saw a lot of floods
There's
this week.
A lot of flooding.
Where do the deer go? I mean, some of them live in those
sent
swamps.
Me a video of his stream
our creek back there,
Mm-hmm.
it raised up probably a good 3.5, 4 feet. Next day, went back to normal. Turkeys galore.
Oh yeah,
I probably had 25 different. Well, the very next day, I had a hen come up 3 feet out of these windows. I was sitting here taking videos.
That happened before?
Oh,
you don't see them up here before?
Nope.
Yeah.
That thing was 3 feet out of that door.
And for listeners at home, we were thinking about that's what we had in mind was what that storm running through in Minnesota. We were like, well, turkeys are going to be on their feet gobbling.
They're going to be doing something.
Yeah, they're gonna die if we go over there.
Yeah, but my whole family was like, you can't drive through this storm. You're going to get caught up in a tornado. You're going to die, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, here I am.
Bro,
I'm like, dude, this wouldn't be.
Think about how cool that would have been if we're like driving through there, just like,
just like, I had to go right out to where it was. I had to go after the tornado.
Reed Trimmer or whatever that is. I'm like, we're in the Destroyer 3.
No, we would have been in Gage's F-150 completely exposed and screwed if we got hit by a tornado.
You got the windows down.
Yeah,
windows in the back.
Pink Pony Club blasting just with the boys on the way to Minnesota.
No, it would have been.
I got home.
Yeah.
Calling.
You've been on a big Chief Keef kick, so it would have been something else. You just like, dun, 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 dun. You just hear the bass.
Some Sosa. Some Sosa.
Yeah, Sosa, that's right. Yeah, big Sosa.
Some Finetto.
Well, when we drove to Green Bay, for like the first like 20 minutes, it was straight Chief Keef.
Where's Travis Scott? Brother.
Dude, no, I would.
This is what happens when you go to college. You know that?
I would have.
You were not listening to this in high school.
No.
It was like
listen to Creed. Yeah, he listened to Creed.
I remember listening.
What's that on country?
What's that Five Finger Death Punch song that has Travis Tritt in it?
Oh,
Outlaws and Outsiders.
That one's Corey Marks
or Corey Marks and Travis Tritt's in it too,
and Five Finger.
Yep, I remember when we were in high school.
I love that song.
That song used to get played on
this guy was
repeat.
He had the ox in practice.
Yeah, I would get pissed when people would take that shit from me
every day. Sometimes darkness can show you the light.
Well, anybody could have come up and wrestled me for the ox. I was game.
The only one that really had a fighting shot at that was Ichikuski.
I mean,
yeah, but he didn't.
I almost took you down.
What
are you talking about? Only one.
Almost took me down.
I've almost taken him down multiple times. What are you talking about? Only one.
You would sit there. You would.
That was when I was 132, and you're
160.
You were too fat.
You were
too
I was
fat.
160. You would sit there after practice, and you'd be like, "I can't leave until they take you down." And I would get to the point where I would just get I
Yeah,
was
that
ready to
did
go
happen. That
home,
did
You just get
happen.
bored.
and I would let you take me down so I
No,
could go
no.
home.
If we're being honest, yeah. I remember like you and him would just be rolling around at the end, and I'm like, yeah, we'll have fun with that.
Until it was freestyle season, and then I would change up everything that I was doing.
And then you were just launching me. You remember we went to
Oh
that
my
tournament in
gosh,
the
I
Dells?
hated that when we were in high school. You would just do like some stupid move, and I would get launched like 8 feet in the freaking air.
You remember that tournament we went to in the Dells our senior year, and you wanted me to go, and then you were like, I just want you to come because my parents made me come to this. And I was bro, come on, dude. That was a fun tournament, actually. That
tournament
was pretty cool.
That was the COVID year, right? We
Yeah,
ended
that
up
was in
getting-
November.
I got like 6 matches that
Yeah,
day.
it was a good tournament. I think you got third.
Which one-
Did
for
you
that-
win it or
for-
did you get second?
Which
think
for
you
that
won
year
it.
No,
was
I
that
got
normal.
I got 5th that
Did
year.
you?
Yeah, that
At
one.
the Dells?
that one
No,
was-
not over not over Christmas. It was like in November, preseason. It was like it was at Chula Vista, not in the big dome, but like in
no,
that side
one,
room.
I got second. I
Yeah.
lost to some dude I should not have.
Yeah, I
lost
got
to.
third. I remember because Halepka was in my bracket that
All right.
year.
I have to take a pee. You guys
We're in
talk about
charge
something.
now. All
Yeah.
right. I mean,
but so we kind of got off topic a little bit. But back with like both sites. Like I said, I support HHA 100%. You know, I've had a lot of great interactions with those guys, and like I said, ran a single pin. Fast forward right now, and probably going forward, I'll be running a multi-pin slider.
which one slides?
Well, so the whole scope house
Right.
slides,
Oh, okay.
but all 3, it'll give you ranges for.
Really?
So back before HHA came out with the Tetra Rise and the Nitrix, it was just the Tetra. So you had a Tetra single pin, you had the Tetra stack or whatever it was, where it was like 2 pin, or no, is that the Tetra Rise? I can't exactly remember. But so there was like 2 pin configurations, but one of them, you know, was like your top pin, and then the second one was fixed. You couldn't move it. But so now with that Tetra Rise X3, if I want, you know, like typically I'll do 20, 30, and 40, right? But I can, if I wanted that bottom pin to be like, if I wanted it to be like 20, 30, 60, 20, 30, 50, like if I'm going out west, something like that, I just want like some oblong pin just in case, you know, because like if I'm going out to like, say I'm going out to like this next year, I'm probably going to go to Arizona for archery mule deer hunt. So I will probably change that up where it'll be like 20, 30, and then third pin will probably be like 50. And then that way, so like I can change my configuration. So, you know, top 2 pins might be at, you know, 30, 40, bottom pin's then going to be at 70. So if, you know, obviously end goal is to get as close as you can, but mule deer, they're not dumb.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Well, so I'm going to Michigan this next week to go visit our really good buddy, my really good buddy, Kentucky Rob. I can't wait to go see that dude. I'm gonna ask him about mule deer, and you'll have to give the pod a listen
Okay.
because he has a very different view.
Has
on
he killed
mule-
a bunch of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kentucky Rob used to record like TV shows for hunting,
Okay.
and he's gotten to go out.
Is
and,
that like ranch mule deer?
no?
That
They're wild
wild
mule deer.
Okay. Like
and
public. Like,
What states normally?
Montana,
Mhm.
Wyoming. But he's sitting there. I'll let him tell the stories on it, but you'll have to listen. And,
I can imagine. I can imagine. I mean, I feel like for everyone, like if I were to go and ask Remy Warren, you know, about what he thinks about elk hunting, obviously he's gonna be like, dude, he's like, it's not that fucking hard. Like, just figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, you go ask like, but if I wanted a more in depth, it's like anyone that's been doing it for their
well, it's like
entire
if
life.
you go and you
That's
ask
like us
Lee
and-
Ellis,
Yeah.
hey, is hunting 200-inch whitetail hard? I mean, you can do it.
He gets, oh, dude, don't even get me started on Lee Ellis.
I love him. I love his videos. I love his videos.
Sig one. I mean, they're
awesome, and he's a
okay. I guess I wasn't more thinking Lee Ellis. I was more thinking Lee Lukoski is someone who's, in my eyes, can be a little bit more arrogant over that type of thing. Because I remember what podcast was he on?
I think it comes from the fact that he is a genius.
Oh, he is.
He's so smart.
He
that
is.
like when other people are like they don't
When
they
they're
don't understand.
dumbfounded, he has that understanding. And but so like I mean I've heard him.
Was that the one where he said that
Yeah,
he can
give
kill a
me any property.
3.5-year-old?
Yeah, if there's a 3.5-year-old,
I'll kill it in a day.
Yeah, he's like, just give me like 2 days. Like, it's not that hard. For
Brother.
me, it's like just to see
A 3.5-year-old.
It's not so easy.
Well, he was thinking like 170 inches, 3.5-year-old. I'm like, dude, I've maybe seen one 170-inch whitetail in my entire life.
Yeah.
And it wasn't on my property.
Yeah.
So it's like to be able to, first of all, see those deer. Second of all, be confident enough that you can pattern them and kill them in a day or two.
I can count on both hands how many 170 pluses I've ever seen.
I mean, hunting down in Kentucky, you probably definitely seen a handful. At least pictures.
I saw probably 6 total after
the incident.
We still have. I have to get Reeds back up here to go over Kentucky.
Okay.
So we've done the podcast twice.
Yeah, I don't want to blast you over that.
We've done 2 Kentucky podcasts both times.
Never mentioned
We
it.
had to scratch it because we were either too drunk or the software failed us.
Oh, okay.
Probably because they were too drunk, though. Yeah. It never hit record. He didn't plug it in.
Is Reed's a big beer drinker too, then, or what?
We get after it a
I
little
was going to say, you didn't think so?
It usually this story always pops out at like 2 a.m., 1:30 when we're ripping out pods. So by then, we've done 2 of them, and we're like, wow.
Oh, I can imagine. The brewski's been flowing since 6 p.m.
It's usually a good time. Coming down to the mediocre compound is always a good time. I mean,
no doubt.
But
never a dull moment here.
It's usually a pretty good time.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when we were in Kentucky, after the unfortunate events unfolded, I ended up seeing probably 6 that were over 150, and I think at least 4 that were over 170.
Yeah, I haven't seen one of those deer on the hooves in a stand.
Oh, I had one at 5 yards, but where we were hunting, I wasn't able to do anything about it because I already drew blood. Tough.
So was that how they operated that there was once you drew blood,
Which the fact that I was still able to go and sit in a tree was unreal. Like, that's great.
What would have what would have unfolded if you would have shot again? Is that like
poaching?
Oh, so in Kentucky, if you draw blood, then you punch tag. That's it
on the outfitter.
Okay.
So it would have been poaching.
That's their rules,
and I respected those guys. They
well,
were awesome people.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome people.
Obviously,
and I'm not even gonna think about it.
Yeah, I didn't know what the parameters.
If I saw a deer that wasn't the one that I had already hit, my bow stayed hanging up. Like I didn't care. Number one,
you were just trying to get your get back at that.
I wanted because that was the only one that I was allowed to chase. Like if I got lucky enough to see him again, great. If I didn't, then that was it. But that's a story for another podcast.
I was gonna say I don't even know if I know what you're talking about right now, but
it's gonna come up in another podcast. We got it scheduled.
It's a touchy subject.
I get nightmares.
He does.
I get nightmares.
It's really bad when a component to the piece of that incident just sits in plain view very often, every day, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's in my truck bed. I got the arrow in my truck bed just to remind myself.
You could just move it,
Well, no, because I want to remind myself.
You don't want to bring that. You don't want to bring that into the house by the hunting gear. That's bad juju.
It's bad juju, but I keep it there so that I see it and then I practice even more.
That's a good wrestling mindset.
Exactly, dude.
So you learn from wrestling that you.
So that brings me back. How did you balance college wrestling and hunting? And would you have changed anything?
Hunting. I like when you call it hunting.
Hunting. Getting after it, hunting out in the wood there,
When I was
out there in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, geez.
When I was in college in Iowa, it was hard to balance because I had public mostly. I had the one private, but it was an hour away.
Yep.
And the public's great, but to get out there, you know how it is. You want to walk farther than anyone else because you want to get to where no one else is going. And then
that can burn you though too at the same time.
And then you got to get up in the tree and you got to set everything up. You got climbing sticks. You got to take it all down, and you have homework, and you got to get up, do 6 a.m. lift the next day.
You got to be motivated.
So, like, one of my bucks, my first one I shot, I was on that private about an hour away, and I didn't get done with the deer until like 3 a.m. We had a 6 a.m. lift.
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna do? Like,
that
not
was-
shoot the buck?
That was my Richardson Center one.
Yeah.
I had lift the next day.
Right.
And I
Did you
didn't
say
get back to
coach's
Oshkosh
place,
until
too?
4:30.
Yeah.
We had lift at 5:30.
Mhm. Yeah, it's hard.
I slept for 30 minutes.
No, I know.
I would have just pounded some coffee and just sent
Dude,
it.
it's hard to hunt when you're in college, and like the biggest thing for me was like the workload. Like, so I shot a buck my true senior year, and everyone's in class. It was the middle of the day.
Yep.
I like didn't have class till later, so I had to go out there with my cart. You know, my mom got me a cart for Christmas, like a nice little 2-wheeler, and I had probably, I think I hauled the deer like 3/4 of a mile. But that's one way. So then how many times did I walk back and forth, you know? And
Yeah.
it's
Grab all
hilly.
your-
It's
grab all your
really
stuff.
hilly. So I had to haul that buck in by myself, get it in the truck by myself, gut it by myself.
Was it a 3.5-year-old? Was it a big buck?
No, that was a dinky basket.
Just
It was all right.
throw it on your shoulders, bro.
It wasn't that dinky. I'm not, I
Can't
don't
do that.
It wasn't that dinky. I mean, I was probably a little smaller than this one. Are you throwing this on your shoulders and walking 3/4 a mile?
my
No.
first buck ever,
Yeah.
I did.
No.
No, I don't know what he's talking about.
You need to hit legs.
That was the
it sounds
smallest
like.
buck. The rack that you showed us, the body must have been like on Ozempic or something. If you were able to get that on your shoulders.
GLP-1s.
My guy.
No, that's just
You didn't get it.
That's just
All
pure
right, but
muscle.
you're not.
just
You haven't
jealous.
hunted in Iowa. You're not.
No, I
you're
have.
not
I'll
walking.
give you that.
Okay,
I have not.
You're
I
not
don't know it.
walking this with an animal on your shoulders. It is hilly out there.
I'm gonna
and
train
wet.
for Iowa, and then when I go to Iowa and I kill a deer, I'm gonna send you a picture of it.
All right,
and
buddy.
Just double
All right, buddy. Whatever you say. So anyway, balancing was hard, but I didn't really get a hunt. This last year I didn't hunt at all because I wasn't eligible to get a Iowa residency because I had to be taking 12 credits.
Yep.
So, but the easiest thing to do is hunt turkeys because it doesn't get dark out. Like obviously, once you hit daylight savings time, it's impossible to hunt after practice.
Yep.
You know, and obviously then by the time it gets good, like rut, you're doing tournaments every Saturday.
Yep.
So you get Sunday, which you really don't want to do a lot on because you kind of want to relax.
Yep.
So
You just got
yeah.
done beating the shit out
right,
of your
you
body.
wrestled 6 matches at the Pointer Open, and then
Yeah.
you're like,
You're
yeah,
like,
you really want to go hunting, and you know how hard. It's not like you can go sit in a stand that's already up.
Yep.
So anyway,
You need an nested system for easy. up and
right,
down.
right.
Should've
Code
killed
MEDI
him.
10, MEDI 10.
So then turkey hunting is a lot easier just because you can run out there with the shotgun. You don't have to get in a tree. I don't even set up a blind half the time.
No, you just run and gun.
just sit down. You don't really need that much time because it's kind of better towards the end of the night anyway. So turkey hunting, I think I shot 2 turkeys, both on that private, and both were just like Friday night. I didn't have class the next day.
Yep.
Ran out there. They're on the field. Just kind of crawled out there.
Were you
shot 'em.
reaping or
Was I what?
reaping?
Calling?
No, reaping with like a fake fan.
No, I
Decoy or
I
something.
usually don't. I like just using like where I was is a little hilly, like I said, so I just use the land.
Terrain.
Sure. Yeah. So like that public or the private that I hunt on, like I said, the river is like it's like lower, right?
Yep.
Elevation. So then you have to climb just a little bit to get to the field level, and they're out in the field. So I just go in the river and then walk
Yeah.
my way to where they are and then crawl up the bank, and then hopefully they're in the right
Yeah.
spot, which happened twice. It was pretty cool. One time my buddy was out there with me. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But the other time I was by myself, and that was pretty rewarding because I had a lot of close encounters that year. I had one. I like crawled out there. I thought it was coming. It was about roosting time. And spook it off. It starts flying. It's like 80 yards away. Get out there with my 20 gauge. just no shot in the world. Just,
Spraying and praying.
pretty much. So
Would you have changed anything? Would you have gone back, maybe focused on hunting instead of?
no, if I wouldn't have wrestled in college, I would have been able to hunt more. But I wanted to wrestle in college. I picked my school because of wrestling.
Yep.
And I wouldn't have not done that. Like,
Yep.
no way. And like, I see a lot of people, like our buddies that went to lacrosse, they hunted a lot. And like, of
Shit,
course, I would have too.
lacrosse,
Exactly.
Why would you
Yeah.
not?
So like Kyle, he been applying for a tag in Iowa like every year. I think he finally got one. I don't know if he shot one in Iowa. But I think he did. But
Spink did, I know.
yeah, but they
Spink shot a
hunted in
nice
that.
one in Iowa.
They hunted right by where I was.
Yep.
Like they knew the same public that I hunted. So I was in one of the best areas in the whole country. So sometimes it was hard because I was like, I wish I was out there because I know how good it is, but it's like, what am I gonna do? Like I prioritize wrestling, so no, I wouldn't. I would probably have gone to a bigger school, like I don't know, like a big school.
Yeah.
You like Minnesota or something,
Yep.
which who knows how much hunting I would have done then. But no, I'm glad that I
Glad of
hunted
beer
when
drinking.
I did. Yeah, like you didn't do that at Oshkosh. You know what they call it, right?
Oshkosh.
Exactly.
Wow.
Dude, you were like, if you look in the map, the whatever drunkest counties, you lived in one of them.
He lived right next to the lake. So
You helped
you look
that.
at the
You
map-
are the statistic, my guy. Every weekend I look at Gage's story and I'm like, oh, he's back at it again. Not during wrestling season, though.
I did the same thing when I went to college for that year. It was bad.
Where'd you go?
NTC.
Oh, I didn't
just
know
for
that.
just for my lineman cert.
Yeah, I got into that. In Iowa, it's pretty cool. In Decorah, it's a small town, so everyone knows everyone.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Well, that was good pod, boys. Closing thoughts here. Chase Kmosena.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try out the Yellowstone AI cameras. I'm not even like just saying that.
Yep.
I actually like
fantastic.
seriously like the camera quality is so good. So
Well, and they're based out of Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin.
yeah, I mean, and that's
Spend a
supporting
lot of
local,
time
like
there
you
in the
said.
spring.
That's supporting local. So, but my closing thought is turkey season's on the way. I was driving all over the state this week for work, chasing floods, and I saw strutters out in all the fields. So
Everywhere.
I'm like, I'm getting fired up. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. Turkey hunting is fun, and it's nice because it's so nice out, and you're like,
Yep.
it's just spring, and it's like you know what's coming.
Shit's getting
It's summer.
green.
Yeah, it's green. It's like you don't have to bundle up. Like,
Yep.
it's great. So I'm excited for turkey hunting pretty soon. I got a couple tags, couple different zones.
Yep.
So I'll be going on near Rib Mountain area. So I'm pretty excited. Keep the streak going. I think I've got a Tom last 3 years. So
Nice.
got to keep
Knock
her
on
going.
wood. Can't get too cocky.
Nah, you got to just get out there and put the work in, you know?
Well, I mean, closing thoughts on me. I mean, I think that we're probably gonna have to reschedule that Minnesota trip. That sounds like a good time.
I think we might have to.
You know, maybe next weekend.
Oh, I'm in Michigan next weekend for turkeys.
Maybe I'll just come film you then or some shit.
He's going to be hunting in Michigan.
Hunting in Michigan with Kentucky Rob.
UP or?
Nope. Mainland.
Oh man,
That's a lot. That's a drive.
yeah.
The ferry's booked.
I was going to say, you're going to swim?
Might. The wreck of the Edmund
Oh
Fitzgerald.
yeah, that's a freaking classic.
This guy.
But
That's the wrong lake.
yeah, I mean,
Oh, that's the right lake.
That's Michigan. You'd have to go through Lake Michigan to get across.
Superior.
Superior's up, buddy.
Michigan.
Where did they?
If you're going to mainland,
The
Michigan,
Edmund
you have
was
to-
in Lake Superior.
Oh,
Yeah. wrong lake.
Maybe I'll go over that way.
This is a good thing you didn't go and be an elementary school teacher. You don't know geography.
I was going to be
was gonna be a
teacher.
gym
Oh,
teacher,
okay.
bro.
Never mind.
He would just play the song. He doesn't have to know where it happened.
I love the song. It's a
Yeah,
good song.
Yeah,
I feel like
you would have been the gym teacher that plays Creed.
Dude, I actually played what did I
Mobamba?
play? No.
the clean version.
I got Colin.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, back rescheduling Minnesota turkey.
Maybe late
potentially,
season.
maybe later season. But I mean, I have a bear hunt coming up in Montana. That'll be last 2 weeks of May.
We'll have to get you back in after that, see how it went.
I mean, I'm probably gonna do some filming on that. So maybe you'll be able to throw a couple tidbits in there.
Oh, maybe.
I'm thinking
Throw it on
about
our TikTok.
yeah, I'm thinking about bringing a camera and some stuff like that and
Nice.
shoot a little bit on the iPhone. We'll see what happens.
Sick.
And yeah, I mean, prepping for that right now. That's today just did a hike before I came here. That was 60 pounds on my back up and down Rib Mountain. So
Yeah.
legs are kind of cheech, but I guess it's all for a common good. We'll see what happens.
Heck yeah.
And I think as well as what Chase said, Yellowstone AI cameras. I mean, I've primarily ran reveals, but I think I'm gonna get one or two and definitely give them a rip. See what happens.
They're pretty sick.
those are like they send pictures of your phone still?
Cellcam.
Yeah, Cellcam? Okay, good.
Well, with that, nested tree stand systems, nested clothing, any of that, MEDI10, you get your 10% off. Don't forget to use that. Yellowstone trail cameras, love them, use them. They're great. Lifetime warranty. Other than that, loved having you guys here. It's great to get the boys in the room.
You love that button, don't you?
Hell yeah. Stay mediocre, guys. Love you. We'll catch you in the next one.
Peace. Yes, sir.